Today, what we're going to do is look at the performance of my 1600X compared to the 3900X that we'll be installing. What we're going to look at today, though, is how the 1600X works with a VR stream simulated with recording. So let's get into that. Okay, now that we're at our desktop here, let's set up our demonstration of how this is all going to go down. First of all, we need to load up Streamlabs because Streamlabs is what we're going to use to actually do our stream. Let's see here, that's loaded up. Great. Let's get the task manager going. Let's get the actual restream chat up. That's what I use to monitor my chats, things like that. Then also I use OVR drop for the chat because that gives me haptic feedback when I get a chat that comes through. And then also let's start up OVR Toolkit. That's what gives me this whole screen right here that I can monitor in order to see what's going on with my stream, good, bad. If someone gives me a like or something like that within the environment, I can turn around and say thank you to the actual person. If you want to see how that's done with the overlays and the setup that I just described, go to this link up here and you can watch that video as well. So now let's get Steam VR loaded up and we'll go from there. So just hold on, please. As you can see, we have Steam VR or Home, whatever you want to call it, loaded up. And this is where we're going to give our presentation on the CPU usage, things like that. As you may know, within game, it may be even higher, but I think that it's not going to be too much higher. So let's verify we have everything up and running where we want it to. Right here, I want to make sure we're actually seeing the performance, and we'll go over the performance before we even get into the VR and press and record. But as you might be able to see here at the CPU, we're running it in about the 30. Let's see if we can get that focused in. We're running in about the 30s. So let's see if we can get in there and show you real quick. See, we're in the 30s right now. Once I hit record, it's going to jump into about the 60s. So let's move back here, hit that record button for you, and then show you exactly what it's going to go to. So give me a second here. Hit that, bring that back up. Boom! As you can see, it jumped all the way into the 60s. Once you hit the internet, you're going to see about the same performance, and that is what we're concerned about here. So that's the layout of the performance that we're looking at, and if you think there's something I can do that would be less intensive, please let me know. But I think this is the worst case scenario, recording with this example. And also, if you want to look at the CPU usage down on the OBS itself that OBS is using, there it is. It's about 30%. Now when you're streaming, you want it at about 20. And that's one of the things that caught my eye and I was like, oh, I think I want to look into some other options. See that? That's at 30. And when we get into the VR headset, you will see that it actually jumps up sometimes up to 40%. So this is why I have decided to go down this route, and also because of rendering videos like this one. So let's grab that headset.
Okay. Alright, now we're going to transition over into VR. I will be going over into the room, so just give me a minute to get set up and we'll see how things are performing just in a simple environment such as one of the VR Steam VR within their little area where you can start your games and things like that. So just give me a minute here. Okay, let's find those pesky little ones there. And that right there, that should be behind me. Okay, now in the simple environment of, yes, you're gonna get like a Inception thing because we're not running a game, but you're gonna see that right here we're recording and we're at 38%. Well, you may say that takes a little more CPU, blah blah blah. Well, we'd rather see the worst case scenario than not. So right here we're just in a simple environment, Steam VR itself. We're not really doing too much that is too much CPU intensive, and I did not bring that up. There we go. Oh, let's hold down on this guy. Can I move it over? I'm still learning this. So when we go like that, we're just going to see that, even though this is in the chat. So no big deal. This is all for just showing you exactly how much actual CPU. See, I'm just sitting here and getting 79 to 80% on my CPU. Okay, yeah, is it rendering all this right up in here? Yeah, okay, that's, and I have this running. Oh, that's, if I go back to the computer, I shut that down, and you come down here, you may drop a percent or two on the CPU. So this isn't really taking up too much. Let's see here. So this is exactly why I'm wanting to convert over to another CPU, and that's why I picked the 3900X.
Okay, there you go. That's the 1600X running my VR with recording to simulate your stream. Now, not everybody's going to stream VR, so this is a little bit out of the ordinary. Yeah, there's some of you out there that's doing that, and you can do that if you like. I throw a couple things on there, like 2 different overlays, things to that nature. So I'm running a little bit more in the background than most will, adding more processes, more CPU usage, things like that. And with that little overhead room that I had left while the CPU is running between 70 and 80, that made me a little nervous because we were just in the Steam home room. That is not that intensive graphically wise and informational wise. So I want to keep myself in a comfortable spot, and that's why I'm going to the 3900X. That's going to be in part 2. But let's still stay a little focused on part 1 here, and I want to hear what you think about my path on where I'm going, what you think I could do if I still was going to stay on the 1600X, and go from there. I will tell you, my settings within Streamlabs OBS are optimized. That's all there's to it. The only thing that could be brought down maybe a little bit is the kilobits per second. So that is at 4800. So, you know, it's in that mid-range where you can run 1080 or 720 just fine on your stream. And that also is an area where most people on their cell phones, mobile devices will not get a lot of buffering. Unless they're on their Wi-Fi and they have a decent Wi-Fi, then you could probably run at 1080 at 60 frames. All that. That's a whole different video, and I've digressed just a wee bit. You know, not as much as Jay. But that is what I'm all looking at here and where I'm coming from. So with that information, I want to hear down below in those comments what you think about this. Also, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, God knows if it's even working, hit that like button if you like this video, hit the dislike if you dislike that video. If you hit that dislike video, tell me why. If you don't, I'll hunt you down. But with all that being said, this is Chris saying out.